Go for it. Tell us.
Well, I just would like to say that I do believe in our hearts that everyone is definitely going to support Proposition 1. It's for the betterment of mankind. It's a simple plant, and if a god or the planet is not capable of producing a plant that has over 20,000 beneficial uses for medicine, food, oil, and all products, perhaps even Bibles and books that were made, then I think in everyone's heart they're going to vote yes and do the right thing this Tuesday. And definitely don't want to offend anyone. Everyone has their own beliefs. But cannabis is something that brings people together in unity and has never been shown to, cause chaos like a tequila party would be, for example.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
We were talking about the...
we'll find out.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you, please.
No, go ahead.
Well, I just... one of the other callers was calling from west side of the state. He was in a weird location, and that the town that he lived in was somehow... It progressed...
Easttown,
different than the rest of, it was kind of, he calls himself like the Ann Arbor of his, area. But generally speaking, that area is...
self-proclaimed hippie.
Is very antagonistic to marijuana. I know this from my experiences as a lawyer, being out there and just seeing and understanding the way, although, but nonetheless, and I know they've opted out, a lot of the towns or whatever there. But, and we were talking about what some of the reasons might be, and there's an argument that... it is associated with some of the fundamentally religious-held beliefs of the organized, religious groups that are in that have formed out there. That maybe I don't know, but I think that there's something to be said about that. And I was asking whether or not there was any places that most people could think about, or they heard in their rearing years or their days, or even now that they may be involved with organized religion some way, that they can point to where there's like actual citations in biblical or literature or, the holy books that actually have this disdain for cannabis. Because, we talked about there's certain people that, that believe that the references to the references in the Bible to the cannabis plant itself. But where else would the religious community use as a source, like a religious source, if there was one? God said, do not, under any circumstances, thou shalt not cannabi, or whatever. Where is that? Is there a place? Can you tell me?
Smoke the reefer.
Can you show? From is that a thing, or what's the explanation for the religious antagonism to cannabis? Your turn.
Not that I know of. When I open up Genesis, the first thing I read is, and the earth brought forth grass, herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind, and God saw that it was good. It's not in the Bible. Anything about the negatives, to my knowledge.
So simple. Simple. I don't know why we had to screw it up. I don't get that.
One plant can serve all needs. Yeah. Food.
And in fact, every religion I've ever studied, I've pretty much seen cannabis used as a part of sacrament as well. So.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What do you think about that, Steve?
I think it's very true.
Can't hear you, Steve.
I think it's all very true. One plant as a source to sustain everything, really.
Yeah.
Now, a bigger question is, do you think that over time, let's say Prop 1 passes, and let's say Dana Nessel gets elected, just as starters, then we have this evolutionary kind of progress that takes place over a period of time. Can we see in the future that any of the religious institutions that we've come to know start embracing cannabis in some way? Will we see Ash Wednesdays actually with Oil Wednesdays of the cannabis plant. Will we see?
No.
I don't know if that's. Will we see
That
the?
would be pretty cool, but
It would be.
Will we see? The wine being hemp milk at some point? Will we?
no.
Will we?
No.
Will?
Time will fix it.
I was in front of a judge today. It was kind of interesting. He said it was because he was in the ballpark. He was in the ballpark. I kind of got the feeling I knew where he was on this. Jim, I need your attention.
Yes, sir.
Kind of got the feeling he was in the ballpark where he was because he made a comment about. He's talking about the law and this thing that's the MMA, and he's going to give time for everyone to talk and stuff. And he's like, and besides, it's on the ballot next week, and we're going to be back in court the day after.
Ooh.
And it is really an amazing time right now. He said it like it was.
He said it was an amazing time.
The prosecutor,
because he was going to have to dismiss his case.
No, he was saying he was just. I think he was excited about it.
Do you think they're going to maybe hold that the crime was committed before the law was actually passed, and therefore should suffer the wrath of the courts of the state of Michigan?
It's interesting. That's a kind of an argument that's one that is based in legality. I like to work in magic myself. As a lawyer, I've given up on the legality and the, logic kind of stuff. I'm just going straight with like hocus pocus, and because this is what I think. I think if it is legalized, we can argue in court whether it applies or not, and blah blah blah. And you're legal blah. The jury, you would think, is going to think a little bit different. If the prosecutor is such a, shall we say, bully, well, retroactive, schmectoactive. You still was illegal at the time, and it doesn't matter now. And I'm Elliot Ness, and is that the word that that's really like okay, fine. You're not going to
because that is what's going to happen, right?
Oh, it is. It is.
Well, it probably will be, and the question is, I've said it all along. Like the only way to really beat him the only way to make it end is not to pass a law. You got to beat him in court. You got to have him lose, or write a check.
Right.
Do you think they'll stop?
Yeah, if you write
And
the
if you
check.
can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
What?
I don't think that's good advice,
No,
Steve.
that's not.
That's horrible advice.
That's
really
terrible.
bad.
No, yeah, it's well, they're gonna have to come around.
They will, eventually.
See, there's a plausibility here that it passes, and we have some ongoing enforcement of the Controlled Substances Act.
So I'm
under the theory that, well, this government didn't pass this law.
Yeah. You want to know what I think? And I hope I'm wrong. I'll just say that. But, if I was looking in my crystal ball and saying, what else could happen? Because something else is going to happen. If you think
Like
that
what?
the state police and the rest of the antis are going away after this passes, you are dead wrong.
Well, I agree. I got my theory.
So then you ask, well, the law passes. What can happen? One of two things can happen. One, the legislature could amend the law. Unlikely. I'm sure it'll happen eventually, but certainly not immediately. Two, someone sues the state of Michigan saying that the law is unconstitutional in some way, shape, or form.
Under what constitution?
I'm not sure. Or that it violates some other statute. They find a hole and they hold it up in court. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think someone will at least try. And hopefully it doesn't stick. But I think if this thing passes, it's going to end up in court some way, in a very significant way.
Vote Dana.
Yeah, that's the only way.
That's the only way.
That is the only way.
Only way. Now, my fear is that these county sheriffs that are against it are going to find some sort of weird loophole where they can declare that they are going to enforce federal law in their counties, and then
Oh boy,
I
think they've already tried that.
Trying to do something.
They've already tried that, and it would be not so smart, I think, for especially a department ran by a publicly elected official to go against the people's will, especially if the yes vote is as high as I think it's going to be. Because if it's supported at the levels of the MMMA, like that's significant, and people are not going to hopefully just allow for a county to say, well, we're going to enforce federal law here. But who knows?
I would hope not. I can
Who
just
knows?
see some weird, like you were saying, something weird, something significant. I could see that as something weird and significant that
Yeah, something
could
weird.
somehow happen.
Something.
In some way.
Because they're not going away.
No,
They're
you're
going to
right.
do something. They're going to throw a monkey in the works here, and when they do, we're going to be like, oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to fight through that. So that'll be fun.
Unfortunately, I think you're right, Jim.
Anyhow.
And Jeff gave it a nod as well, which means it's probably going to hold weight.
We'll be busy.
Yeah. I think you guys will be busier than you think. But, that's good. It's better to be busy than bored, I always say.
We just got to encourage everybody to get out there and vote.
Absolutely.
If you don't vote, you can't bitch, right, Tommy?
That's right.
That's right.
That's sometimes it's a little say, but it's the only say you got in this whole process.
Right.
Get out there and vote. Don't be one of these people.
Vote your ass off.
Yes. Enjoy it. It's a
And
right
take
we
somebody
have.
with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Voting is good. Voting is good.
It is good. Especially in the midterm election, I think. So, all right.
Calling it?
I
Well,
think
listen, it's
we're
good to hear
gonna
from you. We always talked about having a Church of the Infidels, which would let
I thought that's
everybody
what
in that was thrown
I
out.
thought that's what this was.
It sounded like it.
Oh.
But it's good that there's, and we're going to have to come pray with you soon. And we appreciate you calling in. It's glad to know that we've got some, we've captured some of the religious audience. Never thought I'd be
Yeah.
saying that.
Absolutely.
Yes, Reverend Steve Thompson is one of my favorite people. So I will see you guys soon. Bless you guys. Everybody go rock the vote out November 6th and November 16th. We'll all party in Flint.
All right.
Amen to that, brother.
Amen.
Have a great night.
Amen. Later, guys.
See ya. All right.
All right, so we'll, it's a good time to call. I mean, should it be a little bit more, emotional? Because it is a little last show before. Like, I don't know. We come back, it's over. Like, does it
I
mean-
don't know.
Is there,
I just want to mention that.
we're all still good. Like, Planet Green just continue. We're not ending it.
Right.
I mean, if people really want us
It's
to end
gonna
it because afterwards,
it's
just
gonna be new news.
send me a couple of emails. I'm more than happy to walk away. The Jim will take over, and
No.
the guy in the
No, I
Halloween
won't.
costume was remaining
And,
selling.
I mean, I don't know
Spy costume guy.
what I do on Thursday nights. It would be bad.
We are thinking about. We may have more appeal to Mexico and Canada. We may have to see what our broadband works on there. That
I
may be a
think
thing.
so. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll.
Maybe we could go ham radio.
Yeah, right now. I'm right now.
That'd be good. Yep. And as I understand it, the studio may get revamped soon.
That's right.
So
That's right.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
are
good.
in serious discussions about that.
And we may doing stations, like workout stations while we're doing the show. We're thinking about doing something like that, like really make it challenging.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be good. Yeah.
Maybe do the broadcast like over a moat with alligators. We're talking about those other things. That may be a little bit too
I
much.
was hoping there'd be some fire involved. That'd
Yeah.
be good.
Okay.
That would be good.
All right, well, listen. It's very important that everyone get out and vote. We've got a big election. I can't tell you. Listen, and here's the thing. To me, like, Dana Nessel has to win. Let me just say that. Because if we have to go through the same crap with the police ignoring the law.
That's exactly what's going to
I
happen.
mean, you see what's going on. You see what's happening. Listen, there's this thing that's going on. I got to say this because it's to finish it. I sat and listened to some of this nonsense that they are running in their commercials. It is out of this Rocky Mountain High Intensity Drug Report, which is a federally funded report. And I will tell you that this is the only report that is used by the opponents. Every police officer you see that cites statistics in Colorado is referring to this particular report. What they're not telling you about this report is that it is a requirement of the report writer that they come out and conclude that marijuana is bad